After covering a monumental journey through Alaska and Canada, the Dominar Polar Odyssey journeys through the legendary highways of the USA, touring some of the most famous roads and celebrated cities of the West. 3 Indian riders embarked on an odyssey that would stretch from the North Pole to the South Pole, spanning 95 days, 47,844 kilometers and 15 countries. After leaving the border town of Kauai, the riders were welcomed by some of the flattest roads they had ever ridden on.
Absolutely flat lands. It's been brilliant so far. Beautiful roads going up and down.
Passing legendary motorways such as going to the Sun Road, this leg of the Odyssey was destined to be one filled with unparalleled beauty. Logan Pass, Devil's Tower, Mount Rushmore. The only things slowing down the riders were these magnificent landmarks that captivated their wonder.
We are at the Devil's Tower.
Native Americans, the Sioux and the Kiowa, believe that it's got significance that children were being chased. Tower grew because they prayed to the gods to be lifted up, and then a bear actually made the indentations in the side.
A beautiful day today, and we have about 700 kilometers across all these highways.
Wyoming, Badlands National Park, Hartford, Chicago. These amazing highways let the riders cover over 600 to 700 kilometers in a single day. After passing the Great Lakes along Interstate 94, the riders rode into Detroit, the heart of the American automotive industry.
Detroit was a city that pioneered the use of assembly line in the automobile industry, the same model that is in use everywhere today. Visiting this amazing city is like a pilgrimage for us. What a fascinating place.
Even after riding on these incredible roads, at times the riders had to leave the majestic motorways and experience some of the most iconic landmarks on the planet.
Watching the Niagara. That's the Windsor Bridge. That's the skyline of New York, and the tallest tower there is the World Trade Center.
But the Odyssey had to continue, so the riders bid adieu to New York and headed to the nation's capital city.
I'm from Bangalore. And you came with me all the way traveling?
On the bike, yes.
Wow.
Allah.
You don't mind if I take your picture?
Please go ahead. Please go ahead.
2, 3.
After dominating the East Coast, the riders turned towards the West. The next stretch of road was the legendary Route 66, popularly known as the Main Street of America or the Mother Road.
The historic Route 66.
It took the riders across 3,000 kilometers and across 6 states before reaching the geographically diverse land of Colorado. The Dominars averaged 120 to 130 kilometers per hour, but adventure never treaded far from the riders. On the way to Pike's Peak, a hailstorm swept across the region, forcing the riders to replan their journey.
We are at the Pike's Peak, and we've been warned to turn back and head out fast. And you can see it's snowing really bad, freezing. This has been one of the most exhilarating experiences so far.
The entire Odyssey had claimed a number of milestones, but few were as memorable as the one the riders passed in the middle of the night before reaching Monument Valley.
25,000 liters on the Bajaj Dominar! We are amidst the Monument Valley, undoubtedly one of the most beautiful landscapes in this Odyssey so far.
Anita has been riding pillions since Vancouver. We have done about 19,000 kilometers along with the baggage on this motorcycle. She's been completely comfortable throughout. We could not have asked for anything better.
But before the vast cluster of sandstone towers welcomed them, the riders were caught in another weather surprise.
Can you see this? It's snowing. This is completely unexpected. The weather report said that it is gonna be bright and sunny, but it is not the case.
The road to the Grand Canyon would prove to be even tougher. The riders were forced to ride on heavy snow. But even after a rough day of ice and slush, the bikes performed flawlessly.
Everything here is frozen. It was snowing all night. We didn't even cover the bikes to protect them. Let's see if they start.
That's one kick. Sim. One crank start. That's brilliant. We are headed into the Grand Canyon.
The remoteness of the road to the Grand Canyon made touring this river-carved landscape a fascinating adventure. The canyon roads may have been dusty and barren, but the bright, harsh sunlight was soon replaced by the neon glow of the most iconic boulevard in the world, the famous Vegas Strip. But the leisure trip at Vegas soon ended when the Odyssey continued ahead and took on the infamous Death Valley. This desert valley highway, famed for being one of the hottest places in the world, was starkly different from the icy, hail-covered roads the riders encountered just a few days ago. Before reaching the sandy shores of San Francisco, the riders were greeted by the Great Ocean Highway. The long way through the USA was soon coming to an end. How better to say goodbye than pass the famous Hollywood sign in Los Angeles and then advance onto the US-Mexico border in San Diego. The end destination was getting near, but the journey on these legendary motorways was something that would live on forever. Next, the Dominar Polar Odyssey reaches the final leg of its journey, venturing through Central and South America, a land prized for its diverse landscape of mountains, deserts, and jungles. Make sure to stay tuned for the next episode of this record-breaking Odyssey.